All right, this time I'd like to call the Town of Pierson regular council meeting to order on Tuesday, March 17th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Yvonne, would you do a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mayor Gray Leonard.
Here.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland.
Here.
Councilman Jimmy Anderson.
Here.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson.
Here.
Councilwoman Brandy Peterson.
Here.
Town Attorney Scott Simpson.
Here.
Town Planner Mark Corrett.
Here.
Deputy Clerk Ryan Smith.
Here.
And the Volusia County Sheriff is present.
All right. Lenny, would you be so kind as to lead us in an invocation, please?
Gladly.
Thank you.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we come to you tonight with great thanks for this beautiful day you have bestowed upon our wonderful community. Dear Lord, I ask that you continually bless our citizens and all that may pass through. I ask you to especially bless this council, all our employees, and anyone involved in the great workings of our town. Dear Lord, I ask that you please guide and inspire us to make the best decisions for our citizens as a whole. And I ask these things in your great name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Everybody please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of business is item number 4. It's approval of some minutes, and I think we can probably go through all of these at one time. Item A is regular meeting minutes on March 3rd, 2026. 4B is the workshop meeting minutes on March the 5th, 2026. And 4C would be the workshop meeting minutes from March the 11th, 2026. Has everybody had an opportunity to look at them and everything? Any changes, additions, deletions by anybody? I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve the regular meeting minutes from March 3rd, 2026, the workshop meeting minutes from March 5th, 2026, and the workshop meeting minutes from March 11th, 2026.
There's a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Lenny Richardson to approve our meeting minutes from March the 3rd, March the 5th, and March the 11th of 2026. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Brandy Peterson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. So carried. All right, moving on to item number 5A. This is ordinance 2026-04. It's an amendment or amendments to the personnel regulations, and let everybody know this is the second reading on this. I want to let our attorney run through this real quick, and then we can go on.
Ordinance number 2026-04 by title only for second and final reading. An ordinance of the Town of Pierson, Florida, proposing amendments to the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Pierson, revising personnel regulations, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing an effective date.
All right, let the record show that the title for ordinance 2026-04 has been read. Does anybody have any questions or discussions?
So this was the ordinance that we passed at the last meeting, but I had jumped the gun because I advertised it for today.
Yeah.
So we had to pass it again today.
Yeah.
Because it was advertised for today.
It's a double pass.
So we've already passed it
It's a double
technically,
pass.
but we have to redo it.
Yeah.
So
Does anybody in the audience have any questions? All it is just some revisions and updates to the personnel rules. Okay. No questions, no comments? Yvonne, would you do a roll call vote on this again?
Move to approve.
Okay, sorry.
The ordinance 2026-04.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
On its second and final reading.
Since we'd already approved it once. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion to, what'd you say, Robert?
To approve the ordinance 2026-04 on its
Okay.
second reading.
Motion on the
Amendments to
floor by
personnel
Vice
regulations.
Mayor Robert F. Greenland to approve ordinance 2026-04 on its second reading, then seconded by
Lenny Richardson.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson. Yvonne, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. Councilwoman Brandy Peterson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lenny Richardson,
Yes.
Councilman Jimmy Anderson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Robert Greenland,
Yes.
Mayor Gray Leonard.
Yes. Thank you. Let the record show that this has been approved for the second time, I guess. All right, moving on to the next item of new business is the well at Chipper Jones Park, and Councilwoman Lenny Richardson.
Thank you. Yes, so as we all well know, this has been long overdue to get these things completed and online. So Ryan has been in touch with Meeting Hunt in regards to this issue, and I am going to direct it to him. To give
Actually,
us,
Mark would probably
Mark.
be better, so, yeah.
well, you did the,
All right, well, both the Seth Simmons and Brad Blaze were invited to your April 7th meeting in order to come and explain to you guys directly what the problems with the wells are and, what their plan is to get that in service. So as a result of that, there's been a flurry of activity in the last few days related to, first of all, we didn't ever get told by them, what items were broken. Now, it's been made clear to us that they believe that there's two items. One's a controller. It's a programmable logic controller, which basically is the brain of the water plant in terms of it controls functioning, and a pressure transducer. So those are the two items that they believe do not work. Turns out we've been told that's about a $1,500 item. They've just, there was originally, before they had identified the items, they were talking about, the need to make insurance claims and, whose insurance was going to cover it. We got Scott involved to start asking questions of them about their bill's risk and why that would not be the first thing we go to. None of those issues in terms of are resolved. But as it turns out, though, it's like a $1,500 item. That item has been ordered. They believe that it'll be in this week, and they are attempting to arrange installation of the PLC, the programmable logic controller. That will allow. It's been explained to me that with that in place, that will allow them to bring the plant online. So there are two wells, there are two pressure transducer, one of which is not functioning. So what they're saying is, however, they can still bring the plant up, and then you can tell what the pressure is on the other one by doing, some math calculation. Anyway, so they believe they'll have the plant functioning potentially this week. They also will do training on, running the plant manually. The plan, we've told them that it is not our preference that, if the plant can't be run, as it was intended to run, it's not our preference to run it manually until such time. So they understand that. As I said, their plan it does not involve manual, but they are going to explain to everybody involved how the plant does function manually in the event that it does come down in the future. So that's where we stand today.
That part that they're talking about maybe having in next week, I believe you said, or something like that.
Well, they said they believe that they can obtain the PLC this week.
And is that the part we've been waiting on, the motherboard, so to speak, we've been waiting on for like a long time?
Well, we've had this sort of cascading
The one that we waited forever on was some kind of a flow meter
it was a flow meter.
controller or sensor or something. That was the one that took like 12 weeks. They ordered it around Thanksgiving and it didn't get here till the middle of February.
Did we pay for that, or?
No, supposedly it came out of,
Yeah, and it came out of the contractors.
What about this computer board we were told about? That's bad. They can't get it.
That's the programmable logic.
And now they think they can get it
Well,
quickly?
now they think they can get it really quickly.
Oh, okay.
So have they, you mentioned insurance claim. Has anyone determined, was it a
They
bona fide lightning strike?
allege that there was a lightning strike. Now, nobody with the town, I mean, my understanding is that there might have been a lightning strike that affected the rodeo arena, but I don't know that for sure.
I haven't heard that.
I
hadn't heard.
I haven't heard anything about that.
No.
Lightning strike
Yeah.
hitting the radio.
Or is this inferior equipment and they're wanting to pass the buck?
Yeah, I don't think that's something that they can fake, and, we've basically asked them to document all that, but they're saying...
There should be something burnt over there if there's a lightning strike. Something should be burnt.
Right, and we've asked them to document all that.
Do you think from the get-go there's just a flaw in the design?
That is way outside, my qualifications. I don't think there's nothing I've heard that tells me there's a flaw in the design. I think what has happened, everything went really well with SGS until their one project manager left. When he left, that's when all the problems occurred.
That was
I got
Kyle?
I have
Yeah.
somebody in the back that has a comment. Lewis?
There was a lightning strike and it involved the girls' softball field, which comes from the same power pole that the wells come from.
Okay.
We had fresh up to replace a few things that were fried.
Okay.
To say all that.
Okay. Thank you.
So it's possible, but, we've certainly asked them, to document all that. We'll see. As a result of, inviting them to come to a meeting, seems like they're trying to get the plant in operation.
Okay.
If we have this much trouble, though, getting it going, what if the board goes out again? How long are we going to have to wait till we get another component to fix it? Of course, you don't know that. That's something I want to ask them.
I don't know that. From what I understand, this PLC, they identified it last week. We didn't find out about what these components were till yesterday.
Right. Okay.
But they identified it last week, and they believe they can get it this week, so.
Todd Bush at ZEPCO, and he seems to think that because CWS is our operator, they are equipped to handle that in the future should a part go out. I mean, that's part of their job, is to troubleshoot, identify, and fix this stuff. But the reason we don't want to do that yet is because technically the plant has never been commissioned and put online, so Todd doesn't think that that is currently CWS's responsibility. Now, once it's running and it's been turned over to us and it's ours, if we have problems with it, instead of reaching out to Barney's or whoever, we would likely go to CWS and they would find someone to work on it.
Do we know anything about any warranties on any of this equipment?
We don't know anything about that.
We don't know anything.
I mean, there is a warranty.
There are
but
warranties, but we don't know the specific warranty.
we don't know if they started because
When it was
SGS is
initially
claiming
installed?
that there's a date that they say everything was ready to go online, which was almost 2 years ago now, according to them. So I'm sure they're going to argue the warranty started then. I would argue that because every time we've tried to commission this thing, there's been a problem that hasn't allowed us to, that it's not in service. I would think the warranty would start from the date of service. But
I've
that's-
asked for the contract, and, Brian's been able to give me typically with construction contracts, you have a 1 or 2 page contract, then you attach to it standard terms and conditions. You also attach to it the construction plans and all that stuff. And that's really the meat of the contract. That's what I haven't seen, those standard terms and conditions. The question kind of is, as it relates to the lightning strike, when did the risk of loss shift to the town? And, I think the contractor is taking the position that it already passed substantial completion, had a punch list at final completion. I asked for a copy of, where's the certificate of substantial completion and those type of documents, trying to recreate the documentation so we can see when it was. I generally have a very basic question. I don't understand how we get the substantial completion of a water plant when the water plant has never worked. I don't know how you get there, but maybe that can be explained. But that's my basic question. And it probably would not be a bad idea to put our insurance carrier on notice that there may be a potential claim. We don't know. We just found out. The only reason I tell you is it might be a good idea is, as an insured, you have a duty to cooperate with your insurance company and advise them as soon as possible when there is a potential claim. So even though we don't know the details or the specifics, it may not be a bad idea to contact our insurance agent and say, hey, this may be coming, we're letting you know, and as soon as we get more details, we'll pass it on. But you just want to alleviate any potential defense the insurance company may have to say, hey, you didn't let us know right away, we couldn't investigate, we couldn't, you went out and changed everything, we have no idea what happened. So it may not be a bad idea to put them on notice. I don't know what your deductible is. If this thing's a $1,500 item and I fix everything, that may be well below the deductible anyway.
That was going to be my question. Are we getting charged the labor for them to come out? And at Barney's, I know charges every time they have to come out and do a date here.
Yeah, I do not know yet.
Because if it was just the $1,500, it's probably not even worth us to file an insurance claim. It would be better just
Well,
to
I'm
pay
not
it.
saying file a claim.
Well,
I said put them on notice.
Right.
There could be a claim coming. We can't file a claim because we just don't know the specifics yet.
Right.
But I just don't want them the insurance company coming back and saying, you didn't tell us when you first found out, you went out there, you made changes and fixed things, and now we can't do an inspection to see what caused all this. That's just a suggestion. But hopefully it can all be fixed and up and running for $1,500. But we really need to have the contract. And until I can get that contract, and the documentation going back, like Ryan said, it's back into like April 24 or something like that is when they said there was something that occurred then, and then in the spring of 25, something occurred. I've asked for those. Show me the substantial completion, the determination of substantial completion. Show me the punch list. Show me when the punch list was signed off and approved. Usually all those decisions are made by the engineer of record. That's the person who goes out and they declare substantial completion. They're the ones who make those kind of determinations. That's typically what I've seen. I just want to see what the contract says.
Did we have a copy?
We haven't found one.
We have a copy of...
That two-page thing is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the standard terms and
But
conditions attached.
the only thing we have standard terms and conditions for is the meet and hunt contract, but not for SGS.
Well, you can give me the meet and hunt contract and
Yeah, I
their
sent
standard
that
terms.
to you the other day.
So, well, I looked at that. I've seen the bid, SGS's bid. That didn't help, and I didn't see any standard terms and conditions. So,
Well, Christian, our previous attorney, is the one that drafted the little two-page agreement.
Those agreements
And
are
he references the other stuff, but there's no attachments to it. I can't find anything prior to that from anybody, so.
it's standard that the quote-unquote contract is only a couple pages.
Right.
But it incorporates voluminous documents. And that's what we need to see is those attachments that are attached.
So this, I just put this in your packet as an informational thing. I wrote this today because Mead and Hunt and SGS seem to be questioning the timeline of this and whose fault is what, and there's a lot of blame that goes around. So this document, I started August 6, 2024, which is the date that the final power inspection was done, and Duke Energy released power to that site. So basically from the date that the power or the water plant was energized until present day, and this is, I've backed all this up with emails. If you want to see the emails, I've probably got 100 pages of emails. But this is basically a timeline of every email, every documented email or text message that I have with all of the people involved, going back and forth about pay apps and checks and change orders and scheduling and commission dates and training. I mean, it's been dragging on for over a year and a half since we got the power turned on out there. So just, if you want to read it, this is everything that has happened since August 2024. It might not be a bad idea to have that when we have our April 7th meeting.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn if we ever use Mead Hunt again.
Well, they haven't been very forthcoming and very reliable on this project, that's for certain. And I agree. It's,
Is the documents, Christian, I mean, is that something we can reach back out to him and see if he has the documents?
We could, but Scott asked SGS for it, and it would be in SGS best interest if they think that,
could
we're not
provide it.
adhering to something, they would provide it to us, so. But I'm assuming Mead and Hunt probably also has a copy of
They should.
that. And
They should.
also Fred Fox, because Fred Fox is the one who's the grant writer for this, and they have copies of all the pay requests, all the, I'm sure they've got the copy of the contract as well. So I can reach out to Melissa tomorrow and see if they have it.
worthwhile to ask them for this pay request. To see, okay.
The 8:45 this morning, Brad Blake sent out an email to Karen and Sophia. It says, please forward project closeout documentation to me, Mark, and the town. So that's what we're looking for, because he's saying in the emails, he said, we did perform a final walkthrough and prepared a final punch list that was provided to the contractor. The FEP permit was certified complete. I was asking for, was the project completed? And let's see what the contract says about who makes that determination. It is typically the engineer of record who makes that kind of determination. Do we still have money that we haven't paid? Like there's this pay request number 9 that's never been
Yeah,
paid?
there's a huge, no, pay request number 9 has been paid. It was $32,000. It got paid April 2025.
So is there any retainage?
There's a pay request number 10 for $70,000+.
Is that the retainage?
It's the retainage and the final, they lumped it all together. So it's going to be the retainage and the final work that they did for the past year.
Let's just hold on to that.
Well, that was how this all started, right? Because SGS said, where's our money? And we said, the plant's not online, so we're not cutting a check.
Where's our plant?
Yeah.
So just to speak to that real quick, June 18th, we did our walkthrough with Gabor at Department of Health. June 18th was the date that he came out, gave them a punch list of all the items that had to be addressed, and he said he was going to withhold his closeout letter until all those items were addressed. June 30th, I sent an email asking for an update on that. Sophia at Mead and Hunt got back to me and said that they still had to do a backflow certification, some labeling of items, and that TJ at SGS was scheduled to come out that week and do it. Never heard anything back, so July 11th, so another almost 2 weeks later, I sent another email and asked for the status of that, and Todd got back to me and said that SGS had completed everything. I reached out to Gabor at Department of Health again, and he told me he hadn't had time to review it. July 17th, he still hadn't had time to review it. July 31st, I finally got his clearance letter. So then we scheduled a startup training on August 27th, so just about a month later, and it was inoperable. We gathered everybody together, CWS, Mead and Hunt, everybody and their mother was out there, and we waited around there was like 20 people out there, and we waited around for 2 hours, and they said, oh, this part's damaged. So, but the thing that gets me is twice now SGS has gone out there in advance of a startup and claimed that they're doing testing and there are electricians there and they're doing run-throughs, and we're going to make sure everything is in working order. So when we have the startup meeting, all we have to do is turn it on, train everybody how to use it. And twice now, we've gotten out there, and it's still not worked the day of. And it was like, well, I thought you guys were here yesterday. or the day before to check this. So this will be our third time, I think, that's happened.
Third time.
Where we gather everybody together. I mean, we had the state director here from CWS. I mean, it's a lot of work putting all those people together, and then they get here and it's like, oh, no, it's not going to work today. So,
I have a question for you, Louis. Do you remember approximately the date that lightning happened out there? I can remember that thing hitting in the girls' ball field. Do you have any idea? Well, we should have a bill from Fred
should have
Huff
an invoice for Huff
so we
Electric.
can get it down pretty close based on that invoice, because they came out and took
Yeah.
care of it.
I would like to know whether it was before or after August 27th. August 27th, we went out there and nothing was working, so if it was because of that lightning strike, the lightning strike should have occurred before August 27th.
Right.
I just want to confirm that. If the lightning strike happened after August 27th, then it wasn't that lightning strike that caused the problem.
right.
All right.
Yeah, we'll have to look at,
We can look.
we can look that up based on Huff Electric's invoice.
Okay.
To be,
just
get
curious.
it pretty close to the day.
Yeah.
Anything else on that, Scott, you need to?
No, I think y'all's next meeting will be more interesting.
Yeah.
More informative.
Mr. Vice Mayor, you have any questions of Mark or anything?
Regarding the wells, no.
Yeah.
No, that's just.
Okay. Jimmy?
No.
Okay. Yvonne? Lenny? Brandy? Yvonne? You have anything? Okay, we're good. All right, being no further discussion on that, we're going to move on to item number 6, old business. And 6A is 2 doors that we need on the utility rooms, at the bathrooms at North Road Park and also Chipper Jones Park. And we talked about that, I believe, at our workshop. We couldn't take any action on it, but we discussed it. So we need to replace those doors, and they're $869 each, plus some hinges. We need 6 hinges at $15 each. And so we need approval to go ahead and get that.
Well, we tabled it at the last meeting because we were going to have everyone go look at it because the
Come up
water,
with a decision, right?
the water rushing
Divert
into that room
water.
is what caused the doors to rust.
The
So we
one
were
on
gonna-
North Road Park.
We were going to try to
Yeah.
somehow fix the water intrusion issue before we bought a new door. So any suggestions on how to do
I
that?
think the idea that Jimmy came up with at our last meeting is to ditch it to where the drain goes under the road, where it goes into the
That's what I,
retention pond. And I guess, fill it up with rock
yeah,
and it.
make like a French drain out of it,
French
so
drain out of it,
it'll drain and people won't be tripping
It's
on it.
not that far to that drain, so
No.
I think
Be all right.
I think that's the best solution that I saw anyway.
Me
I don't
too.
know- I don't know if y'all have any other better ideas, but
I thought that was a good idea, and we
either
just-
that or berm up, the ground there from coming off the septic tank mound. That's what all
I
the
think
water
it's,
just rolls
I
off
think
that
it's still,
mountain,
I
just-
think it'll probably still eventually find a way in there. I think the French drain's probably the very best way to do it, but
I think so.
Well, that door is level with the ground there. I mean, there's very little of a drop.
yeah.
There's not enough to get rid of it. And,
Can you get with the Public Works guys and kind of direct them on how we need to do that,
I'll
Jimmy?
get up with them tomorrow and we'll
Okay.
look at it and decide what we really need to do to it.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So we'll just,
And we need another one where at Chipper Jones,
mhm.
at the public bathrooms, I guess.
It's the ones right there by the Little League ball field, I think, isn't it? For the park?
The one in the middle is rusted out, it's rusted out at the bottom.
The one where the control for the sprinklers and stuff's at, right?
Utility box.
Do we have to order these doors, Lewis?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we might as well wait till we get the French drain squared away on North Road Park and then get both of them at the same time. But I mean, it's got to be done. It's a,
They took a little while last time, so you could probably just order them and have them, and once you get the French drain, you'll have the door maybe.
Because it took a
if it's
little
going to
while.
take a while to get them, we
Didn't it take like several weeks?
It won't take that long.
Gotta think with all these gas prices going up, everything.
Right.
So order them now,
Probably ought to go.
so you
well, I
have them.
think we probably should.
I
And
feel
these
like it
prices
took them
might
like-
not even be valid anymore.
Wasn't it like 6 or 8 weeks or
It was,
something like
it
that
was
to
like
get the
6 or
last
7
door?
weeks
This
to
was
get
back in
them.
February, which has been, it's almost a month.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will be solid.
I make a motion that we go ahead and purchase the 2 doors.
Okay.
And go ahead and get them in-house, and when we get ready for them, we can put them on.
And the necessary hinges also,
And
correct?
necessary hardware.
Okay. Motion on the floor by Vice Mayor Robert F. Greenland to go ahead and get these doors on order and purchase them. The doors, the cost on this estimate was $869 each. We need 2 of them, and 6 hinges at $15 each. So is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilmember Jimmy Anderson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. So carried. So let's go ahead and try to get those ordered and get them on the way. Okay, next item of old business is item number 6B, is our solid waste receptacle recycling bins, and that was tabled from 3/3 of 26. And I'd like to ask Ryan to expound on this if he could.
Well, we just tabled it because there was some back and forth about whether recycling went to the same place, a different place. But we've had a million calls for recycle bins.
Everybody's upset about the
Everyone,
recycle
yeah,
bins.
everyone has called, and what I will tell you is they do pick them up in separate trucks.
They do.
And I will tell you that on the breakdown of the monthly charge per house, there is a separate line item for recycling. So town people are being billed for it. So now Scott can maybe expand a little bit on, do we buy them? Because they can use up to 2. So does the town provide one and allow the residents to buy the second one if they want? Do we make them buy, do we want to have them buy both? They come to about $13 a piece for an 18-gallon can. That's if we order them. That includes all the freight and everything. If you divide it out by the 600 containers, it's like $13 a piece. Now, I looked them up at some of the big box stores like Lowe's. They're really only $1 more at Lowe's. So I'm just looking for some guidance on do we provide them? Do we want the citizens to provide their own? Do we split the difference and give them one and have them purchase another if they want to? How do we want to work that? I can ask if we can order quantity less. I think they were just going by our last number for the garbage cans and figured we would need double that, so that's probably why they gave me a quote for 600. I don't know if that's considered a load. If they would ship less than 600, I'd have to ask. If we wanted to get the price down a little bit. I don't know that we would even be able to get rid of 600.
600
Right, yeah,
recycle
I
bins.
I don't know if that.
I don't think I don't either.
Do we know if there is a price break by buying 600 of them?
I don't know if there's a price break, probably, because you're ordering like what they consider a full load,
Right.
I would assume. So in other words, your freight's going to be the same probably
Right.
for 600 versus a lesser amount. So
It would
that
have to
make
be a
each
pretty
can more.
significant,
But we don't know for sure.
No, but I can find out. I can ask.
it would have to be a pretty significant difference to,
Yeah.
I mean,
$8,000, $7,800
Yeah.
that's a lot of damn money.
Yeah, it is.
When Ryan and I think Yvonne had a conference call with the attorney we retained to help with the assessment, and we can take the cost of these containers we're getting, both the 96-gallon roll-off and I assume these recycle, and include those in the assessment, but then when we turn around and whatever revenue we collect, if we're going to sell those to individual property owners, we then take that revenue and deduct that from the cost of providing garbage service that we use to come up with the assessment. So net that out so people don't get double charged. But we can collect all that cost through the initial assessment, and then as people buy the containers, we, in essence, give credit back on the assessment as we get more revenues and we sell the containers over time. So there is a way to recover that.
Money.
I just doubt that there's 600 people in this town that recycle.
Well,
I would agree.
Well, my thing about it is I don't think that most people don't need 2 recycle bins. I mean, I put all my, and the reason I say that is I know when they pick up my recycle stuff, they don't have one truck for plastic and one truck for cardboard. It all just goes into the same truck. So, if they want to get another recycle, if they have a need for one, then I guess they can go to Lowe's and get one. But I don't think we need to furnish but one if we're going to furnish. It's just my thought.
So maybe I can check and see what the minimum order would be for,
Why don't you do
with the
that?
freight.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, see what the minimum.
Maybe-
Do you think half of that?
That's what I was gonna say,
That's what I was
300.
thinking. Well, 300.
That's what, yeah. I mean,
Might be.
I'll reach out to Mike at FCC because they're not, the ones I were buying are generic. They don't have a town logo or anything on them. They just have a recycle logo. So if FCC buys those in bulk, they may be willing to just sell them to us for however many we need. They couldn't do
Right.
that with the cans because the cans they have say Volusia County on them.
Right.
But with the recycle bins, if they're using a generic one, maybe we can work out something where we just
There you
buy
go. Yeah.
them at their cost or whatever. But I'll send a couple of emails and get some options tomorrow.
well, let's find that out and then we can make a final decision at the next
And
meeting. We can
our
put it on
cans
there for
are
final
supposed to
decision.
come tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's good.
So we should have the actual regular 96-gallon bins tomorrow.
So then our workers pass them out? How's that work?
We can, or they can come pick one up. We're going to put them at the Public Works barn for now. So if someone wants to just come up there, Marcy has a list of all the people. How many people would you say is on that, Marcy? 30, 40? Yeah. I mean, not hundreds of people. So, but we have a list in the office, and we've got their phone numbers, so we'll figure it out.
Okay, any more discussion on that? Let's move on to item number 7, other business, updates by mayor. The one update I want to let everybody know about it, we had a water line break last night at the end of Lake George Street, I believe it's called, and anyhow, we were able to get that fixed without any interruptions to anybody's service, and I don't have anything else. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the Public Works. I guess y'all patched the holes there on Turner Road. Yeah, that one was getting quite deep. I did it several times. Yeah.
Yeah, some guy came out and gave
How'd that work out?
so far, so good.
Good.
And that's it for now.
Okay. Councilmember Jimmy Anderson.
I ain't got nothing today.
All right. Councilwoman Lenny.
People need to be aware, my grandson lives on West Hagstrom, and last night at midnight, something awakened him, and he looked out and there was a man standing on his porch. So he called 911, and he watched him, and he went around the side to his boat and was milling around his boat. So he left, Christian watched him leave, and he went to County Road 3, and the cop said he didn't see anybody. But he said there had also been a prior incident last night north on County Road 3. Were you at that call?
I just thought out when I talking after call.
Okay. So that was twice with,
Last night.
last night.
Be aware there might be a problem
Yeah, there's
around.
some people milling around.
Okay.
The
Ms. Brandy?
only thing that I have is, I've been made aware that we have some residents that's calling our town workers about doing different projects. The town workers do as we ask them, not just anybody that calls them. So if you know or whatever, they take direction from us, not all the
Exactly.
residents in town. I mean, that's overwhelming if 5 different people are calling them to tell them to do stuff, so.
Yeah, well, they
Just
need
wanted to
to,
mention
they need
that.
to let somebody know at the town
Yeah.
hall. Yeah, I agree. I do have one thing that I do want to mention, I've forgotten about. We have a problem with the right-of-way on Washington Avenue, where the bridge railings are right there near where Virginia Roberts lives. I noticed that.
Where their packing shed was?
Mhm. I do notice that somebody has taken it upon themselves to put a bunch of red reflectors along there. And I think those probably need to be removed so our public works folks can adequately get in there to mow or whatever they need to do. I don't really know who put them there. I didn't see them do it, but there's like, I don't know,
I've seen
10 or 12 there. So maybe, Jimmy, if you could have them guys, I mean, they're on our right-of-way. We didn't put them there, and it's interfering with how we maintain the right-of-way. I think they need to be taken out. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but, okay.
I'll meet with them tomorrow and we'll take care of all of it.
All right, thank you. That's all I had. Okay, you have any updates, Scott? Anything?
Ryan, did you want me to go through that?
Yeah, if you just want to run through the contract real quick and ask them.
Yeah, we had a lease from, on the helipad.
Yes.
So they sent
Yes.
us a lease. I had comments and they sent a revision back. I think they've agreed to the rent, right, Ryan?
Yeah, they agreed to all that.
Agreed to that, and they agreed to the reimbursement of clearing. So there are just a couple comments I have, and Ryan wanted me to go over them with you all first before we send them back, I guess. One is, we have a leased area that's really well defined, but then there's a provision that says, together with a non-exclusive right to have vehicular and pedestrian access over and across such portion of the city's premises as are reasonably necessary to allow such access from the premises to a public roadway. My comment would be, I would maybe like it a little more specific as opposed to kind of open-ended, just what's reasonably necessary. That could be interpreted by differently by different people. They reference an extension, and this isn't really anything, it's really for them, that it's a one-year lease, and they refer to an extension as put forth in the addendum. But the addendum doesn't really have an extension. The addendum says after the 1 year's up, it converts to a month-to-month. So I just wanted to clarify. I would think that the tenant would say, if we decide to stay with like another year or something like that instead of a month-to-month.
Right.
But if we commit to giving them the right to extend it for another year or successive year terms, would you all want to ask them for, like at the end of each year, there's a COLA adjustment to the rent, so the rent just doesn't stay the same 2,000, just do a COLA adjustment each year as part of the renewal? Y'all be okay with that?
I think a cost of living adjustment would be good.
Okay. That's really one legal thing. Let's see. They have language in there that says we can't build anything or have anything adjacent on our nearby property that would interfere with their use of the helipad. I think I can understand that request. The one question I have is, would we have to change the current operations of the airport and how people use that to accommodate the helipad? I don't know if the current operations, not something new we do, but do the current operations, like when they go to take off, can no plane land or something, or take off or something like that? I don't know the answer to that. So I was going to ask for clarification of that. They also agreed to the part about, we had the discussion about when we rent for a private purpose, property becomes taxable, even though it's government land. When you start using it for a for-profit enterprise, it will become taxable. And that decision will be made on January 1st. So they have agreed that, if they enter into a lease on January, say April 1st or May 1st. And so next year when it comes around, if they decide we don't want to renew, well, we've already passed January 1st of 27. So for 27, property's going to be taxable for the whole year. And they've agreed to pay the taxes for the whole
Okay.
year, which I thought was really good of them. They asked us to warn and represent that there are no mortgages, deeds of trust, or other lien instruments in any way encumbering the property. I did not know the answer to that.
No.
None?
Yeah, we don't have
Okay.
No, we don't have anything.
I didn't know if we had a grant that restricted the use of the property.
No.
Okay. That's really it. So we can send back those additional comments, or Ryan can do it tomorrow, I guess, if you all agree with this.
So do we need to wait till this gets back to us before we start, we go ahead and contract with somebody to clear it?
Yeah, we're
Cleaned up.
hoping if we can get them to review this by this April 7th meeting, we'll put it on there and bring it back to you for approval.
I got you.
Yeah, that's what I think. We'll get them approve it, and it's all squared away. Then at the very next meeting following their approval, and it's all done, then we'll get the clearing done.
Because they contacted me this afternoon about the permitting requirements. So
Okay, so, yeah,
I
so they gotta
told
go
them-
through site plan.
that's what I told them. They have to meet with you. They're going to have to fill out a fire marshal permit because it's commercial. They're going to have to submit proof of the septic permit to us, so they got to go through DOH for septic. I mean, they have a lot that they still have to do, but they obviously don't want to do that until they have a contract. So
Right.
Chris and Alan from UF Health actually stopped by yesterday just briefly. I think they're antsy and they wanted to know where we were at. So I told them we were going to try to get this all wrapped up so that we could have it on the agenda for the 7th. And then I'm sure as soon as we approve it, we'll get a permit application. So,
Right.
Is that something that you can do with them over like Zoom or the phone, or do they need to meet you here? Considering their architect is like not even in the state.
Yeah, I mean, assuming that they're, yeah, we can do it, we can do it via,
They could just send you all the documents. and
yeah,
you can-
yeah,
okay.
we can do it virtually.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Mark, do you have anything? New?
Well, I'll be here this Thursday. You people talk to them about their land use and zoning issues in the morning, and I believe quite a few people are signed up.
Correct.
Okay.
We got a full slate?
Full slate. He doesn't have a spot open.
Okay, just curious.
And let's see, so we talked about the water plan already, wastewater plan. We will be bringing on, hopefully, the April 7th meeting, we'll be bringing forward the facility plan. Hopefully, we'll have Brad Blaze here, and he will explain the updates to the wastewater facility plan. So if you recall, because we moved the plant from the school board property to the north side, the state asked that that plan be updated. In addition, they asked that, all the costs be updated. So that has been done, and so it needs to get transmitted to the state. So there'll be a presentation and resolution on the updated facility plan.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions of Mark? No? Staff?
I do.
Okay, Yvonne?
All righty. As you all know, Jonathan Vickers has been on the Planning and Zoning Commission since 2015. He has put his resignation in. And our chairman, Paul Martell, was asked to bring some choices to the council to fill his space. So Chairman Paul Martell and the commission have chosen Kelly Green as their choice to add to the Planning and Zoning Commission. And Mayor Gray Leonard has put Mary Kay Hansen also as a choice. So my question is to you, it's your preference now. I don't know how you make these decisions because we've never had to do this before. So,
How does that usually work, Scott? Would the planning commission do that, or would the council do that?
I don't
My
remember.
historical perspective is the planning board doesn't have anything to do with it. They're usually people who, the public fills out applications and they're submitted to the commission, and the commission makes a decision. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong what's happened. I'm not saying that, I've never seen it done that way.
I think in the past, the council has made the appointments to the planning and zoning board.
Yeah, and I don't know how they get here. What I typically see is you'll put on the city's website or somewhere, they can
Normally
see,
just go out and ask word of mouth.
or word of mouth,
Yeah,
whatever, you know,
yeah.
Pony Express.
Exactly.
So, but then people want to come in, they fill out an application. Do you have any alternates on the planning and zoning board? No, okay.
We have,
Because sometimes when you have a vacancy, an alternate moves up.
we've had,
No alternates.
No alternates. So,
we have 5 people in this.
okay, usually what I see is, you word of mouth, you get it out there, then you'll have a vacancy and you want to fill it. I think you have 2 applicants now, as I understand it, and maybe ask that if anybody else is interested to fill out an application, bring them back for the next meeting, and then this commission can make a decision.
Just put it on our website.
Put it on your website, yeah, that's about all you can do. I don't know if you have like a, you know,
If anyone else is interested,
yeah,
just come in.
and word of
fill out.
mouth is fine, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a bulletin board somewhere, or,
I think we can ask around, put it on the bulletin board, put it on the web, and then maybe have our chairman of the planning board tell us who the people are at the next meeting. And then
but
we can
everybody
make a
needs to fill
decision.
out an application. Do y'all have an application form?
No, it's always just been appointed.
They've been voted before.
Historically, a council person has
Historically, it was
chosen
just
someone.
if somebody would make a motion to appoint whoever, and the council.
You could probably get if you want to do that,
We
you
can
could probably
just
have an
make a
application
basic
form you could get from another jurisdiction and just have people fill it out, which wouldn't be bad to do. And, probably brings back one more thing that I had a question about. Yeah, I started looking into our code enforcement. We kind of talked about that last time. And it looks like, yes, the clerk has a certain designation where they do a lot of the code enforcement, make decisions, and then there's, including finding, it appears, but then there's appeal to a board of adjustments.
Which is the planning commission.
Planning commission, that's my question. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, but then she's also supposed to put the town council on notice of
Right,
the violation.
right. But the appeal goes to the Board of Planning and Appeals, and I wasn't sure if that, a lot of times that is the planning board. The Board of Adjustments and Appeals, a lot of times that is the planning board.
I think we had one quasi-judicial thing that we took care of, I don't know, been a long time ago. I think Wade Bose was our attorney back in those days, and I'm sure, didn't it go before the planning board, didn't we act on that?
Yeah.
A long time ago?
Yes.
I think you and I were on it, Lenny, and it was,
The place there by
the space up by,
Fountain.
Yeah.
yeah.
There was an appeal to y'all as a planning board from the action of the
Yes.
administrator.
And then we made the decision, yes. It's like a quasi-judicial type process, yes.
Yeah, we gave them a timeline to vacate,
Right.
and we came up with the fine amount.
If they didn't comply, whatever it's going to be, yeah.
Okay.
Anything
They
else?
cleaned that up though, didn't they? Yeah, that got cleaned up.
Yeah, I mean, that was handled well, it went well.
Yes.
I think, Mark, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
Nope.
I've got something. And I don't know if I could talk about this at a meeting, so Scott, I'll have to let you know because it's not on the agenda, but we had talked a little while back about RCM Utilities came and replaced 13 commercial backflows. We paid so much per backflow and then a lump sum for the labor. So originally, I was just going to divide that labor by 13 and bill each commercial owner for the labor, because in one place in our code of ordinances, it says all industrial and commercial customers who are connected to the water system at the time of the adoption of this ordinance shall have a backflow device installed and tested once per year by the town, and the customer shall bear only the actual cost of the installation of the device. So my read on that is that was prior to backflows being required. And that ordinance was passed to require one, and at that time, the town agreed to pay for all the backflows, and the customer just paid for the installation. So in the second place, in our actual water ordinance, there's an installation requirement section, and it says, the customer is responsible for installing and maintaining the line extending from the meter to their residence or business. A backflow valve is required to be installed at the meter, and the customer is required to pay for the valve and its maintenance. So my question is, do I charge these these commercial entities the labor, or the labor and the meter?
Which ordinance was adopted later?
That's a good question, because I don't have the ordinance on that, on the number on the 14. So I would have to go back and look at that. But I know that this one, the first one I read about, it says at the time of the adoption of this ordinance, that was an old ordinance.
So
That
there's
was
probably,
in 2006.
so that language is probably repealed by the conflict clause.
Right. Because that was when the town initially, so that's part of our health and safety or health and sanitation ordinance. And the backflow requirement is in there because it's to protect, the health of your water supply, to have a backflow device. So I just read that as that was a one-time thing. The town required it, so they did the upfront cost of installing them. They just charged the business the labor. But then it looks like from then on, they're responsible for the meter, the backflow, and
They're responsible for everything,
on their side.
business side of the
Correct.
meter.
Right.
The town did it initially, and then after
And then
that,
they're supposed to maintain it
right.
every year, and that, like we talked about at our water workshop, that really includes certification. Like the town used to pay biometrics to come certify all the commercial backflows. I don't know that we ever historically, we may have charged the residents for him to come out every year and certify, but I don't know. But we should have. I mean, the town probably shouldn't have eaten that, because that's not what our ordinance says. And like, we talked about at the workshop, other cities, they put that responsibility on you. By this date, if you're a commercial entity, you have to have an independent backflow certification person who's licensed come out, certify it, and then submit a report to us saying that it's in working order. Because like we do ours here, the ones behind the town center, we have them tagged and inspected. They did it in August.
Who did that inspection?
CWS.
CWS does it. So the businesses we could say CWS does it, if you want to
Yeah,
reach out
we
to
could give
them.
them,
or give
there's a
them
whole
some-
list of people
Yeah,
who
I
are
mean, we could
certified
give
to
them a
do
list
it.
of
They
people.
can hire whoever they choose.
Yeah.
But it would ultimately be their responsibility, and then we talked about that. If we do an ordinance amendment, we probably should put language in there that says, once a year, you have this responsibility, you've got to submit the report to us. But I just need to know, before I send invoices out, I just wanted clarification to make sure I wasn't billing someone either too little or too much. Because the invoice, if you're just doing labor only, it's going to be $197.15 per business. If you do labor and the backflow device, it's $800.40, because the backflows are $603.25 a piece. So.
And then we've already replaced those back.
We already paid for it. I just have to.
And what was the cost of the 197?
$197.15 was the labor only, divided by the, because the total was $25.63 divided by the 13
Right. And what was
businesses.
the cost of the device?
The device is $603.25. So if you add that to the $197.15, it's $800.40. And remember, the backflows, the reason that we had to replace them is because they basically froze. So.
Which is an act of God. However, you have to show some due diligence to protect your property.
Yep.
My main question on that is why do those backflow preventers, why were they installed above the ground like that, where they were susceptible to that type of damage, whereas like on a typical home, they're under the ground by the meter, right, Jimmy?
Right.
As far as I know, all commercial backflows are usually above.
They're all above ground. That's a common way of installing them.
It's easier to test and certify,
Yeah, okay,
or determine if they're leaking or something.
right.
They're also usually a lot bigger than, because a residential is just a, right.
It's
it's
a
like-
check valve,
Yeah.
yeah. What do you think, Vice Mayor?
Well, I guess we should probably go with what our town,
What our deputy
water-
clerk's recommended? With our chart, with our
Yeah,
rules? Yeah,
yes,
and
is recommended.
if that
yes.
needs, if that's the way it's written and we need to charge them, then it has to be, that's the way it needs to be done.
Also, Scott and I need to look at, like I said, one of those is in section 12 of our ordinances because it's health and sanitation. And then the other stuff is in the actual municipal water code, which is section 14. But I feel like those things should all the water related stuff like backflows and all should probably just be in one place. Right?
Yeah, that
Because
sounds reasonable.
I mean, yeah, it should.
it's a little confusing to have it all over.
Exactly.
But do
you know.
but do we need to check and see which one?
I can look
ordinances are-
tomorrow, but
Yeah.
if we determine that the second one was passed after, then that's the one we would go with, right? That would be.
Yeah, there's repealer language in all ordinances that,
The same
there's a
thing
conflict.
conflicting as,
So,
You go to the most recent.
yeah, because the most recent one effectively repeals the old one.
Right.
Yeah.
I would assume, well, it's not safe to assume anything, but chapter 12's language is when the town first made them mandatory. So I would assume that the chapter 14 language came later because
Okay.
you wouldn't have talked about backflows unless you had something that made backflows mandatory, so. But I'll check to make sure.
Are the businesses that have these commercial backflows, are they familiar with the law about the requirements to have them inspected every year?
Probably not. But, I mean, that's something, like, that's the way I said, we're probably going to have to, because the way I understood it is Carlos at Biometrics used to come and just do them. So it should probably be in our ordinance, and we should probably send a letter to all the commercial customers.
That's what I'm
and say
saying. They
this
need
is,
to know that they
you know,
need to
annually,
do this.
Because, I mean, annually, they have like a business tax receipt they have to do, and so you do it about the same time, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean,
Would we be better just to pay someone to do it and charge them back rather than say, hey, here's the one certified, you go do it and hope they do? I mean, how do we
know? That's what-
and regulate if they're doing that or not until it's too late and they haven't turned in their paper?
And maybe that was the,
Carlos we're doing it once a year anyway.
Yeah.
but was the town getting reimbursed for it?
I got feeling the town was paying for it,
Right.
not the
yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I do too.
businesses. But at
I
least
mean,
he was keeping
we
them.
can do that,
checked.
but it's a little unusual because most municipalities have hundreds or thousands of businesses. So it's a lot to keep track of, but they put that responsibility on you because technically it's on your side of the meter, it's your responsibility, you know. The other thing is, say the town does it, say someone comes out and we have them inspect a property. And CWS gives you a bill and goes, okay, it's X amount for the labor, and we found an issue, so we had to replace, the internals of this backflow, so this person gets a bill for $600. We could send that to them and they just not pay us.
Right.
So I don't know that you're really more protected one way or another.
Well, if it's required to be done annually, then they need to show proof that that's been done before they renew their business license. I mean, if it's not been inspected, then they're not qualified to get their business license.
Scott, how does that work? Like let's say City of Ormond, they gave you a very strict deadline, because I remember when I was working over there, I got all these reminders from their utility department, by this date, we have to have this in. What is their recourse if you don't? Do they cut your water off, or do they,
I'll have to look into it, but that could, it could be. If you don't do it, if there's a threat to the public's
The
water
health
supply
and safety,
system,
right.
that's what you would do to cut it off.
Until they rectify the issue.
I mean, that would surely put the burden of having it done on the business, and we wouldn't have to worry about it, I mean.
But I mean, essentially, that's what we've done here, right? We've paid RCM to come do it.
Right.
So the other half of that is, now we try to get reimbursed for it, because I don't know that they ever did that. Maybe they did. I mean, I can dig through some old records. Maybe they just used to add it as an item on the water bill once a year for that, but,
I can ask Holly Hill how they do it.
yeah. I know in the old system, there was a line item set up for certain things like hookup fees and, stuff, backflows, but I don't know that they ever actually billed it that way. But I can look and see if they did. Maybe they did recoup money. I don't know.
I think the protection of that commercial backflow preventer is just like the homeowner turning their faucet on to keep it from freezing. I mean, it's on their side of the meter, it's certain. They need to take some precautions so it doesn't happen. And if they don't, and it freezes, then I think that repair cost should be bared by that person, and not the
I don't
taxpayers.
think we do too many of those. I mean, this was kind of a weird one-off. I shouldn't say one-off, but it doesn't happen every year.
No.
I mean, I don't remember us replacing 13 backflows before, so it's not like that's going to happen constantly. At the most, it's going to cost you is a couple $100 a year to certify it, But, okay.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Anybody in the audience have anything that they would like to bring up?
Yeah,
Yep,
I
Paul?
got a question for Jimmy Anderson.
Okay.
Would you let the people in here know what happened here last Friday?
Yeah, I finally had enough of Lenny running around here causing problems with the employees, and I told her it just needed to stop.
What kind of problems?
She's always picking at them employees about all kinds of stuff.
Your
If
kids?
you want to know for
Your
sure,
kids?
ask each one of them,
Did you
because they
not,
always come to me
did you
about
not try to intimidate her to quit? Did you not tell her that she needed to quit? Did
it.
you
I
not?
told her it would be a good thing if she quit.
What about you? Why don't you quit? You don't have no business on that committee that you're on here over these boys. You're too close to them. You're too emotional about it.
No, you're full of it, Paul.
No, I'm not. You had every chance. Why did you wait on Friday to come up here and raising hell when you've had every...
Because I was called and told that she was up here
Why didn't you say
writing up all
something the day before y'all had
town
a
hall.
workshop about the employees? Why didn't you say something then?
There was nothing to be said right then. She just went too far with her
What did she do?
mess she's been doing.
What is
She's
mess
steady
she
of
do?
running around this town causing problems about anything she can find.
Like what, Jimmy?
Like what?
Yeah, what is she causing problems about?
I got ready to feed my truck, filling out my time sheet, like she's told us to do.
Ask the employees back there. They're always hollering at me about Lenny coming by and then call up here at town hall about something.
So her trying to get them a little more efficient is wrong.
Is what?
Getting them a little more efficient is wrong.
It's not true.
They ain't nothing, they do their job. Every one of them does their job.
You're so full of crap.
If they didn't do their jobs, they wouldn't be here.
Right. The only reason you're not even working. You're not even working.
Mr. Pulley?
I think y'all need to take him off that committee. He needs to come off of it. He's too close to that, emotional, and he needs to get off of that.
I will take that under consideration.
Thank you.
Lester Pulley, 363 North Pine Street. I was asked to bring up a couple things. I was told that the N on the town sign on the south end of town is falling off the sign. I was by there yesterday, but I forgot to look. Where it says Pierson, the N is falling off, is what I was
Is
told.
is it
It's the same that Melissa told us.
the
about.
wooden, is it the wooden sign or?
I don't know. I forgot to look yesterday.
It says town, it's individual letters, the ends off.
The N's off the town.
It's just half the end, yeah.
Okay, well, we need to correct that.
It's painted white, so I can't tell if it was like it's sort of raised off the sign, so I can't tell if it's like a wood piece that was painted white that fell off.
Okay.
Or if it's just the paint that's gone, I can't tell,
That's
because
the-
I'm always driving by it, I can't.
I didn't see it, but I was told
That's the
it's
city
falling
limit
off.
sign on the south end of town.
Yeah.
Coming in near PFR,
That's the Chipper Jones sign,
the one near PFR. right there,
the
just-
wooden one,
Okay.
just like the one on this other end.
I'll-
It's the same way.
I'll look at it.
They, both of them needs to be taken down.
They're probably in very bad order. They probably need to be taken down.
The last time they was fixed, I fixed them,
Okay,
and they can't be fixed now.
all right.
They're too rotted away.
I'll look at that and then get with the clerk, and then they can tell you what I found. So that way we won't have any issues with sunshine. So, but I'll look at it tomorrow.
Also, I was told there's a camper parked County Road 3 and West Hagstrom with people living in it with no electricity or sewage. I don't know if that's true or not, but I was told to bring it up.
It's been there.
Okay, thanks.
So Scott, we can move forward with the RV ordinances, right, now that we determined.
It's been adopted, right?
Yes?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's the RV ordinance is in effect.
Yes, ma'am.
Melissa Thorne, your neighbor from unincorporated DeLand. I'm running for County Council District 1. I was just at your County Council meeting, and I wanted to report back to you about your councilman, Don Dempsey. He is not in favor of Volusia Forever. You guys know what Volusia Forever is. Do I need to tell y'all what Volusia Forever is? Volusia Forever is a program that 76.8% of the population approved of. It's a program in which they are trying to conserve land, so they go into partnership with people, with landowners, and sometimes St. John's Waterway and different, yes, and they get a tax break, and it's a program to conserve land. In other words, if it's ag land, it remains ag land in perpetuity. Like, they can't touch it. Nothing can ever be done to it. Well, your councilman doesn't like the word forever, and he doesn't think it's a good idea that the government may not be able to use it in any way, shape, or form. So he wants to do it so that there are limitations, 30-year limitations or 50-year limitations. I just want you all to know that the rest of the council stood up against your councilman and said, no, forever means forever, and we're going to keep it as forever. So next month, it's going to go back on the agenda. They're going to do a bonding of it, and so that's that. To the toilet to tap. I'm asking you guys if you will consider doing a resolution or an ordinance. If you don't want to do a chapter amendment, that's fine, but maybe a resolution or an ordinance. I'm going from town to town on the west side so that we can gang up like Big Brother against Deltona, full front, so that we can say collectively that no, we don't want to drink treated sewage, we don't want it in our aquifer, and we don't want to drink it, period. So I'm asking y'all if you will consider that. I will come back. I will be happy to do a full-on presentation. I've got medical documentation of colorectal cancers that have gone through the roof with people. Singapore converted their whole water supply to toilet to tap since 1998. It's the second highest in their country. 1 in 4 people die of colorectal cancer. In Big Springs, Texas, same deal. They converted their water system toilet to tap since 2013. Their colorectal cancer went up up 400% in 4 years, like through the roof. So I can't tell you for certain if that's what caused it, but you have to stop and consider the implications of what might be long-term, short-term. It's just not a good idea. So that's all I got for you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I think we need to do a resolution, or, yeah.
I think we need to come up with some verbiage in a resolution that we're opposed to that.
Call it that.
Can you help us out with something?
Yeah, I can work with staff on that.
Okay. Is there anyone else that has any questions or comments?
To the individual who just spoke, could you get some information to the town staff so that we could write a resolution opposing the toilet to tap?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else? Last call. Being no further business, meeting is adjourned.